Welcome to Turn It Up, and we've got a special guest, one of Cessnock's finest, Billy Peden. Thanks for coming on, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Growing up in a mad rugby league town like Cessnock and your dad owning the best pub in town, we actually spent a long time together, believe it or not. Gary used to spend a lot of time at Peden's Hotel. But growing up in a pub in Cessnock, what was that like?
Yeah, probably not your usual upbringing, Joe. You know, we heard a lot of fights out the window and maybe a few domestic arguments from down the street up in my bedroom at 10:30 at night when Dad wasn't coming home and Mum was coming to pick him up. So, yeah, it was an interesting childhood, put it that way.
And playing for the Goannas? You played because you didn't come to the Knights till you were 24.
Yeah, in the off season of '94.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was 23, turning 24 when I first got to the Knights. I'd played 5 full seasons
with Cessnock.
Yeah. We came last for 4 and second last for the 5th. So it was a nice thing to go back to the Knights.
Was it always footy as a boy?
Yeah, it was always footy. I loved it. You know, I loved the game. I loved the camaraderie, just the whole thing.
What did you like about going to the NRL? What did you like about going to the Knights?
Well, it was just refreshing, you know, to go amongst a bunch of people that were really focused on winning and performing. You know, I hadn't been we'd been local footy, you know, so everyone knows how much you can enjoy local footy. But to go to that other environment where it's next level, where it's all about excellence, and you've got blokes like him expecting excellence all the time, you know, and demanding it. So it was good to go to that.
I spoke to a player when they left footy and he said that was the thing that they missed most, was going to a work environment where people are like highly motivated. And he said that's what you don't sort of get a lot of the time outside of footy. So what are you doing now? Like what's filling that gap?
Yeah, I work at the coal loader, so which is a blue collar industry, which outside of the footy bubble you actually get to hear the health of the game, you know what I mean? Like people tell you the truth, how they think it is, you know, all you know, everyone understands gamesmanship and all that sort of stuff, but the laying down, trying to get penalties and that, the average Joe hates that. You know what I mean? Like, and so do I. But, you know, like I say, I understand it and understand why they do it, but just wish they wouldn't. We
lived together for a while in the mid-90s. We had some rules in the house. I think we were both injured. Yeah. We got a chin-up bar and said, righto, if anyone opens the fridge, you've got to do 10 chin-ups. When we're on the sip, having a beer, mate, the next day my back was... Billy goes, your shout. That were fun times.
They were good times, mate. We enjoyed it. It was hard work, but yeah, we enjoyed ourselves as well. So
you talk about the camaraderie, and I don't know, there's something about the Newcastle group, and especially through your era, a really connected group. You obviously do some stuff with Mark Hughes and his foundation now, and what is it about that group of men?
Oh, I think footy breeds that, and it's not just Newcastle, you know, like the game demands that you be mates. You can't do it. It's too hard to do if you don't love it and you don't love the people you're doing it with. You know? If you're to be a mercenary and do it, it's too hard, you know, so you got to love what you're doing.
Do you reckon because we all lived close to each other?
I think
we're in Sydney, you sort of live here, there and everywhere.
I think it really helps, and it really helps you do that.
Yeah,
like if someone's going for a beer or someone's going for coffee, you know, everyone's within 15 minutes. You know, there's not someone out the Shire or to get to St George or whatever. You know, that geographically makes it easier. But you also have to like the people too. You know, we were lucky in that era. We were all pretty good mates. You know, so and quite a few of us still great mates now. You know, we just did a walk and Adam Muir was there and all those boys. You know, so Hughes, he came for a day. So it's excellent to be part of.
And you've been right behind the Mark Hughes Foundation. Every year they do a trek. Kokoda, Everest, Kilimanjaro, all that. You've pretty much done every one, Bill.
I've done pretty close. The why is, you look at one of your mates and he's in the fight of your life. Like we just spoke about camaraderie and footy. He's in the fight of his life. How do you do nothing? You know, so he asked me to be an ambassador for the foundation, so I'll do whatever I can to help him out. And seeing some of the stories, you're looking on the screen there, see some of the people that are walking, and through the foundation you meet these people that have brain cancer and the journeys and what they have to go through and their families have to go through. We've got to do something about it, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it gets very little government funding, so it's up to the everyday Joes to get out and do their best. And like I say, we go to Mount Everest, we go to Kilimanjaro, we do all that. And people pay for that themselves. They pay it out of their own pocket and they get people to donate money. It takes their leave, you know, so they're sort of sacrificing time with their families to do that for people fighting brain cancer.
97 grand final, you played out of position, you actually played hooker. And then in 2001, you scored 2 tries. That must have been sensational.
Yeah, like it was interesting that the whole hooker thing, you know, Brett Clements got injured, I think, just before the final. And Malcolm came up to me and he said, "Oh, what do you think about playing hooker?" I said, "You know, I'd probably prefer to stay in the second row where I've been sort of enjoying it." And he said, "Oh, I'm not asking if you're playing hooker." So.
And then this one, Bill?
This one was just, you know, I suppose when you're a kid playing footy in the backyard, that's the stuff you dream of, isn't it? You know, like scoring a try, well, the first try in a grand final, and actually winning the game, you know. So to get another one sort of topped it off a bit.
It's hard to talk about yourself when you're so humble. Joey, I'll ask you, what about Billy playing alongside someone like Bill, an unsung hero of the team that probably doesn't get the accolades, you know, publicly that he deserves?
Well, Bill set the standard at training. Every time we trained, Billy set the standard. And then Billy set the standard on the field. If someone needed to be whacked, you used to whack them. You'd give away, you'd only played at 88 kilos.
Yeah,
or when we'd weigh in at training, Billy used to take sinkers in his pocket. Oh, look, I'm 91 kilos.
That's a true story because they said you had to be 100 kilos to play first grade, and I was struggling to get to 90. And I'm going, mate, I'm no chance here.
Yeah, but Bill set the standard on the training paddock, on the field, and then whenever we'd get together, Billy was always organising it. And something you used to do now, the boys still get together. Chief, Mark Hughes, Danny Badeiras, the Gidley boys.
Yeah.
You all get together. Crusher Crow.
Crusher Crow.
You all get in the morning and train and then go have breakfast. How important still having that connection with your team?
It's huge. It's great for everyone's mental health. You know, I think that's something that people forget to talk about sometimes when you finish footy. That loss of camaraderie and that to get together and actually physically train as well. Not just get together and have a coffee or a beer or whatever. To actually get out, get the endorphins, get into the ocean, do stuff like that. It's incredibly good for your mental health. You know.
You've got some family members that are actually hanging out with footy players as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I was just wondering what I did to deserve that. Yeah. No.
How's that like having that connection to the team at the moment?
No, it's really good actually. It's young Phoenix Crossland is a hooker and been playing lock the last couple of weeks for the Knights. He's a great young kid. Really come along in the last couple of years and matured and turned into a great young kid or great young man, I should say, really, and probably one of the leaders in the team at the moment. So, you know, he just played his 100th game on the weekend. Unfortunately, it wasn't a win for him, but yeah, he's been really coming on. So
I remember he told myself and Danny Badeiras, I'm starting to go with Billy's daughter. We went, "Come here, mate. You know Billy's a thrashing machine. Just make sure you do the right thing."
No, I haven't had to do anything like that, mate. He's been good, so it's...
What about the current team? That obviously means so much to the Newcastle area and the Hunter. Going through a bit of a tough time at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for a long time, Billy, to be fair. You know, we've made, the last couple of years, we've made runs to get into the semis, but as Andrew will tell you, we live and breathe the club. It's, you know, it's super important to us and the community, you know, and when the team's going well, the community has a really good feel. So, yeah, we are in tough times, but you know, look at the last 3 games. We probably should have beat the Roosters. There was some contentious calls there from the video ref, and beat the Dolphins, who had been putting 50 on everyone weeks leading up to that, and then to go within the try of the current leaders. It's, you know, it's probably maybe not as bad as it sounds, but with the injuries, it's going to be a tough job on the
Our spiritual leader, and always will be, Paul Harragon, Chief. Tell us about playing with Chief.
Oh, he just loved it. He was like everyone's big brother. You know, if one of us got in strife, he was the one. You know, he'd come and sort it out for us.
Pull the cat.
You pull
the cat's tail, you get the whole cat.
You get the whole expletive cat. You know, there was some, and he used to get those big hands, and he'd be like, "This is what's going to happen." You know, and it was like, "Whoa, how do you not follow him?"
97, you were playing hooker. You were in the scrum with him and Spud.
Yeah, we were in the front row.
Him and Butsy.
Yeah.
Butsy.
Yeah.
We had Tony Butterfield every scrum. He used to just get there and get your head that close and just go doink.
Yeah, it used to sound like a watermelon. Like, boom, hollow watermelons.
Get close, Billy, we're going to headbutt this guy. Imagine if that went on now.
I'm glad that's not me. Yeah.
You watch them now, they just come in so soft.
Yeah, the game's changed, and like even to the point where I didn't play a lot of hooker, but you'd put one arm around and keep the other one out just in case. You know, like, you never went over like that because you're open.
And Adam Muir, one of our mates, he had 2 knee replacements, and he did the walk.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 2 knee replacements, but prepared to go and walk 150 k's for his mate, who's suffering from brain cancer. So, mate, there's so many stories of people doing extra for people in the fight of their life, and then literally in the fight of their life.
Mark Hughes obviously giving hope to so many families. How's he going himself?
He's good. Yeah, he's tremendous, really, considering it. You look at the stats, it's the biggest killer of people cancer killer of people under 40 and kids under 10. And 8 out of 10 people don't live longer than 5 years. So Mark's coming up towards 10 now. So that's a pretty awesome achievement for him. But I think there's a bit of magic in that. Maybe there's a reason that he's got it, is that he can help other people, and we'll get to the point where we can find a cure.
How's your body? You played pretty hard.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, Freddie. I don't know why. I think I've got a theory, maybe because I was pretty small and you just glance off people, where the big boys
You didn't
just
glance off my rib, mate. my rib still sticks out because of you.
Yeah, you can blame him for that. He used to wind me up all the time.
He won all the time. In the bed inside, Billy, here comes Freddie, break his ribs, break his ribs.
I come charging down the blind side, straight out, going for Joey. He just caved me, and I just remember going, "Ugh," and then my rib just has never been stuck out ever since.
There was a funny one day. We were playing against Brisbane, and Big Gordon was just giving it to Matty on that edge all day, and I thought, I've had enough of this. I've had a gut full of Gordy torturing me mate Matty. So I come flying across and I blindsided him. I got half a decent shot on him, and as soon as I did it, I went, oh no, what have I done?
Poke the bear.
What have I done? And honestly, he was like a big tiger just walking behind. I was saying to Bedgie, get me the ball. I've got to get this over and done with. It's getting worse. It's getting worse by the second. Yeah, he got hold of me, spun me around, smashed me on the ground. He was stuttering. He was that angry. He went, he said, that's one apiece. I said, right, mate, we'll call it a draw.
We'll call it a draw. But you played everywhere. When you started, you played on the wing even?
I played a couple of minutes. I've played a couple of minutes in every position in first grade.
You played in the halves there at some stage?
Yeah, a couple of trials. I think you got injured against Para, ended up in 5'8". Played in the centre a couple of times.
Front row, back row, hooker, lock.
Yeah. So
Everyone loved playing with you. Who did you like playing with? Who was some of the players that you enjoyed?
Of course, loved playing with Joe, because if you tackled someone or got a good shot on someone, he was behind just whooping and whopping and carried on. It was like your mates just down the park, just ripping in and having fun. But obviously Chief, Butsy, Adam Muir. But I always loved playing with
Matthew.
Paul.
Matthew.
Yeah, well, Matthew actually taught me how to run holes, really. Yeah. Matthew. So I loved playing with Matty, but he used to torture us all the time as well with his pranks. But I loved playing with Paul Marquette. He was great. He was one of those guys, very unsung hero, but anything that needed to be done, he'd do for the team. He was just awesome. And I remember tipping on a ball to him one day against Manly in '95 to get into the game to go in the grand final. And Ian Roberts came out of line. It was a muddy day and absolutely hammered it. I thought I killed him. I thought, I've killed Pepe. And he's stuck in the mud like that, and he just got up like a robot, like nothing happened. I went, oh my God, he's the toughest bloke I've ever seen.
Machine. Well, thanks for coming down, Bill, and thanks so much for what you do for the Mark Hughes Foundation. And it was a good chat, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate.